made of your 30 points in the second half. What got you going there in the second half, and what did kids say to you at halftime?
He didn't need to say anything to me at halftime. I don't think much needed to be said in general. Just because it was a tie ball game, felt like we were playing pretty well. Everybody touched the basketball pretty often. I didn't get as many looks as I probably am used to getting, or what I would have wanted, but I was just following the flow of the game, and then coming out at halftime, just being ready to use my conditioning to the best of my ability and beat them up and down the court, continue to play some tough defense, and get some easy ones for my teammates.
Kyrie, you're now 13-0 in closeout games. First part is, when you hear that stat, what goes through your mind, and what is it about you that makes you so comfortable in these situations?
When I hear 13-0, that's not my full playoff record, even though, I've had my fair share of battles with some of my peers in this league. But when I think about the 13-0 in closeout games in general, I just know we just got to get there to that point to be able to be ready to have the other team submit. And it's one of the hardest things to do as a competitor, is to have your opponent concede or submit. And I do want to take this time to give a respectful shout out, and also show my respect to the Clippers organization and the players that we went up against, my peers. It's always fun, and they got me better. And I told them that after the clock went on zero, I just thanked each and every one of them for getting me better and challenging me, and doing all the things that you would want as a competitor. So it was healthy, the series. Just for us to continue to grow as a team, continue to develop what our identity will be moving forward. And you just got to relish in those moments where you get a chance to go against some of the greatest in the world, and you're in Game 6 on your home floor. The record doesn't mean anything when you go out there. You still got to finish the job. So that's what I was thinking.
Kyrie, Coach Kidd discussed your perception in the past, and he had nothing but positive things to say about you. You've become like a fan favorite already in Dallas. Just what does that mean to you? Just the fans just embracing you here so far?
I've been in this league for a while now, so I'm just grateful for those that have been with me since the beginning, and those who are still rocking me now. All the new supporters, I'm grateful for them. It's a whole new generation that's watching me now, so I'm aware of that. Very responsible with what I say and what I do and how I approach my day-to-day life. And as a young person, I can say this, I wasn't really thinking about any of that. I really didn't have the understanding of who I was as a person to myself, and I had to figure that out. And then what you're seeing now is just a version of me that I'm proud of. I look at myself every day in the mirror. I give myself affirmations, and I meditate, I pray, and I'm just more consistent with my daily practices to help me stay grounded and balanced. And part of knowing who you are is knowing where you come from. Been on a spiritual journey, figuring out who my mom's side of my family is, figuring out some family members from my dad. So basketball was, sometimes not the priority, but I was in season. So then probably things got mixed up emotionally, and I think people prejudged me without knowing who I was and knowing who I am, and not really knowing where my family comes from. And all that is just part of the process of growing up in this world and growing up in life. So it's no time to blame anybody or hold grudges. I just look at it as an opportunity to help the next generation see that you can make it through the fire and still rise like a phoenix. So,
hey, Kyrie, a lot of your game is talked about on offense, but your defense, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Coach Kidd, before the game, he talked about your competitive nature, being willing to take those challenges, like tonight in a closeout game guarding James Harden. What does it say, and what is your assessment on your defense and how important it is to your game?
Yeah, I think I'll echo kind of the same sentiment and statement I had the other day of just some of the best to ever play the game are recognized for doing it on both ends of the floor. And in order to make an impact on the defensive end, you have to be well-conditioned, and you have to have that extra gear to be able to be able to guard the best of the best. To make the best of the best miss, you have to make them feel uncomfortable. You have to know tendencies. You have to study the game of basketball, and you also have to appreciate their greatness and not disrespect them. So I try to have that approach and maintain that consistent mentality that, I'll be able to make more of an impact if I'm doing it on both ends of the floor. My offense can come and go. I feel like I can, play with the best of them on that end. But defensively, that's where I want to make my mark. And I know that it galvanizes the group as well when they see me doing it. So just leading by example and also trying to be up there with the greats, man. That takes consistency and takes the will that comes from internally.
Kyrie, 2 quick ones for you. First playoff series as a member of the Mavs, how did that feel, just having the AAC rocking while you were kind of closing out that game? And then secondly, what has kind of the camaraderie been like with the team through this first playoff series, and what have you kind of learned about the team?
Yeah, I genuinely believe that, we grew closer as a group, not even just playing games. We did a lot of things off the court together, and we have a relatively young group as well. They're all pretty much around the same age, so they like the same things. They listen to the same music. They enjoy playing video games. They love doing the little things that, kind of make them happy and keep them grounded. So for me, I've had to come to understand that this is a different era. I'm a different leader in a different era now, so I have to approach them a little bit differently to get the best out of them. And once I was able to do that, then, I know they're all self-motivated, so I just try to give them that encouragement, that positive reinforcement that they're doing the good things, and also push them to do more for themselves, to push past what their potential is right now. So sometimes they can't see it, but you got to challenge them in a healthy way. So I feel like I've done that alongside the coaching staff, and Jay Kidd's been great, and just coming in and having these man-to-man talks that we need sometimes, even though we have women in the locker room too. Our women are allowed to have a voice too. I just want to make sure that. But we have these conversations where it's just honest, and we need that. And to answer your first question, AAC was definitely rocking. I remember Maxey hitting, I think, 3 tonight, and I had never heard it that loud in there. So it's just to see the fans' reactions, to see them appreciate the game of basketball and also their home team. It feels good, and you feel right at home, like, just playing well. And even when we're not playing well, they still try to give us energy as best they can. Just knowing other fan bases that I've been a part of, it could get real toxic. So, here I think there's a good balance, and they like to protect their players. A lot of great players will come through here as well. So it's not like they haven't seen greatness before. I just think I'm in my era right now where we have a great team, and we should appreciate that and not take it for granted.
Kyrie, there in the fourth quarter, you hit the 3 over PJ Tucker. It seemed like you wanted to break him down before you did that. But what did you see in that matchup in that moment? And I know you were already up, but what did that moment do for your team?
Oh goodness, I was, I was laughing with the guys after I hit that shot. I don't even think I watched it go in, fully once it left my hands. I saw I got fouled. I fell to the floor. Then I was on the floor looking, kind of squinting and seeing if it went in, and just seeing my teammates' reaction and them pick me up. That was the best part of it. We knew that was kind of like the dagger in the series, and we were already up, but just those exciting plays that, momentum shifters mean a great deal. And we were already playing hard on defense, so to be rewarded on the offensive end where guys can get rest and then we get back and continue to play out the game until the clock's at 0, it's a big deal for us. So, I think you're seeing a group that's really selfless, and we want to celebrate each other, not just on the big shots, but the small wins, doing the little things, diving on the floor, picking our guys up. And I think if we stay on that trend, we'll do well for the rest of these playoffs.
Kyrie, a lot of times after games, Jason will come in, and then you'll come in later. And you guys don't necessarily say the same thing, but it seems like you're on the same wavelength. And I wonder how much of your success in Dallas is attributable to the fact that you've known Jason for a long time and you have that comfort level with him.
I mean, I'll say this. It's not too often that you get to share, a birthday with somebody, also a former top pick in the NBA, somebody that has won a championship before as a player and also as an assistant or a coach. And he has so much wisdom to offer, but I think he appreciates those that are curious about getting more out of their potential. And that's what we've connected on, is just not on the court stuff, but just as a person. How do you get the best out of yourself? He's been through a lot. I've been through a lot. He's seen a lot. I've seen a lot. I'm obviously younger. But he knows I have an older soul. I've grown up around a lot of older people. So, that's how I came into the league. I think that's how he came into the league too. He came in an era that was a little bit different. So we just have an appreciation for like the classical basketball game, and then who taught us it and how we got better and did we get the most out of our game. And I think now he gets to live through me a little bit. You know, we have different games, but I just know when I look at him, he has that understanding of high level chess. And when you have a coach like that, that reassures you, reinforces that you're doing the right things, it goes a long way. So I definitely feel like we're on the same wavelength as well, and we're just proving it every day and just continuing to put one foot in front of the other and take it step by step, man. Because it took me a while. You know, I think, you know, when I was a younger player too, I would have liked to be coached by him, and I think, you know, Milwaukee had a chance to trade for me too, and you know, just how things work, synchronicity works in this league. You just never know how things happen, and it took us about 7 years for all that to kind of show what we're doing now. So it feels good.
Kai, you talk about how you've been misunderstood over your career on and off the court. How is it that important in regards to like some of the stuff you've done as far as your philanthropy and also like other business ventures in regards to specifically Payers TV and others? I guess why you've taken that opportunity to go that route, I guess you can say.
Yeah, in my life, humanity, I want to see them be liberated from all evil and you know, racism and bigotry and, you know, religious extremism that really divides us all. You know, I'm always going to stand on that side of wanting to see everyone be liberated and also see unity. So philanthropy is not really just philanthropy word. It's just how I was raised, and if I had $1 on me and it was my last dollar, I would give it to someone that needed more. I had a shirt on my back, I would give. That's just always how I've been. I've been a sharer. And if you know anybody that shares a lot of their belongings, you know that they are usually the people that get taken advantage of the most. And I had a lot of pain when I was growing up, so sharing with the world or sharing with my friends, that made me feel happy. That made me feel good. So I just carried it on once I made it to the NBA. You know, and just got on this platform to be able to make a bigger impact for the next generation and those that are watching me. But yeah, to answer your first part of your question, a lot of people call me misunderstood, but I think I would like to change that narrative a bit. You know, some people have spoken for me on behalf of me, you know, and they don't really know who I am, or and that's okay, right? Like, I'm a public figure, but my social media is not who I am. You know, when I come up here, I don't get to fully be who I am. I try to show you guys as much as I need to. But yeah, I just don't think a lot of people knew who I was. And when you have, unfortunately, you have people behind the scenes that are trying to kill off your character or make you quit something that you love to do or make you believe a perception about yourself, that also is part of the process of healing. So, you know, shout out to my therapist, shout out to my family being there for me during times where I was unsure of myself. So I think we've all been through it to a certain degree, but as a young person growing up in this specific society, especially in America, you know, the public forum or being a public figure, entertainer is so unfair. Being a quote unquote celebrity is unfair. I'm not saying that I'm, you know, coaxing for the role or anything like that, but it's just the disrespect that could happen at times just because you're a public figure. It's just, you got to get used to it. So long story short, I don't feel misunderstood. I just feel like I'm showing who I truly am now and embracing that and living with the results that way, whether you like me or not. I really don't care. I really go home to my family, and I appreciate good people, good-spirited people that are kind to me and appreciate what I do, and I appreciate what they do. So it's a shared human respect there.
Kyrie, after the game, you and Luka shared a couple of moments together. What's it been like going through this series with him? He made the comment after Game 4 that he feels like he's letting you down in this series. Then he bounced back with his performance in Game 5. What has it been like for the two of you kind of tag teaming and carrying this team to a series win?
Man, mi hermano, you know, I talk about him all the time, but when he's being aggressive and he's taking that leadership role and he knows who he is, like, he's just playing like Luka Doncic, it's easy to play alongside somebody like that. But you also have to be sure of yourself, because when someone's that special, it's easy to kind of fall into kind of that secondary role. And there's no primary or secondary. We're one team. We succeed together. We fail together. And that's always been the MO since the beginning of the season. Just, you know, we're a team, and everybody has a specific role. Everybody has that skill set that they bring to the team. Just be the best version of yourself. So when me and Luka get it going like that, it just feels good. It makes the game a lot easier. And then off the court, I mean, you know, 25-year-old kid. So do my best to make him smile and have good energy, and also, you know, new father. So just try to support him in other ways and on the basketball court.